Hello and welcome back to the workshop, where today we've been joined by Mike Hale from Revolution Trains and the latest product samples, including the sound fit samples of your new Class 18 as well.
Yep, that's right.
So how are the projects going?
We're finally getting to the point, like the real things, where we're ready to put them into production.
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting loco at the moment, the Clayton 18, isn't it? 'Cause it's literally just starting to appear on the network now.
Yeah, so this was a project started probably 3 or 4 years ago by Beacon Rail Leasing, on the back of successful use by Tata and Sellafield in industrial use.
Yeah, and they are now actually in service with GBRF as well, aren't they?
Yep, so GBRF have got 2 down at Eastleigh, 1 down at Whitemore, with a couple of others potentially going at various other Network Rail virtual quarry sites across the network.
Yeah. So how have you found working with Clayton, with it being a brand new loco? Have there been many changes along the way you've had to cope with?
It's been absolutely fascinating. I mean, it's great that we're still building locos in the UK, which was the sort of starting point. But it's been really interesting seeing the evolution of the real things as Clayton have been adapting to demand going from pure industrial settings of, say, the steel locos all the way through to mainline registered as Class 18.
Yeah, and your tooling suite, that caters for those differences as well.
That does. So each of the 3 variations is actually unique. So the real locos are modular, so you can actually swap around, say, where the cab is, the fuel tank, and we've depicted that on the various versions that we're offering. And we've also tooled in different styles of headlights to reflect what's happened on the real things.
And the most important change right now, you guys, you've got the first samples of the sound profile.
Sound profile all done. It sounds very much like you would expect an electric-powered train to sound. So you'll sit here in some of the video, the sort of whining noise of the electric traction motors. So the real things are entirely powered off the batteries. So they're battery electric locos with a small diesel engine at the front. And all the diesel does is kick in to trickle charge the batteries when necessary. But a lot of the time, actually, the train's powered either off regen off the brake or shore power from 3-phase shore power.
Yeah, so they can actually plug them in when they get back to the depot and charge them. And you were saying as well that one of the operators that doesn't find the need to charge them very often either.
Yeah, so Sellafield said that they can, from the regen of the braking, that they can go as long as 2 weeks at a time, potentially between charging things. Yeah.
And they're really quite powerful as well, because I mean the Tata steel ones have got to move heavy loads around the farm.
Yeah, so we were going down to Swansea and stopped off at Margam to have a look at the Tata steel ones in use, and they're quite happily pulling sort of 40 of our IHAs in and out of the steelworks.
And how do you go about creating the sound profile for these?
We were very lucky that when these were being built by Beacon, they went on test to the Chase Water Railway, and Beacon invited us along to some of their open days when they were showing them off to potential customers, and allowed us to put sort of microphones all over the loco as it was running up and down the Chase Water Valley.
Fantastic, and it's really quite a comprehensive sound. It's an ESU decoder as well.
It's an ESU lock sound decoder, and it's got all the functionality built in to reflect the real things. So the diesel generator is a triggerable function that the user can add in if they want to. Yeah,
and it's also got all manual lighting options in there as well. It's
got all the lighting, so yeah, the real things have got a variety of lighting to make it easier for the shunters, really. And we've put all that into the loco, and so you can play around with all those as well as the sound functions.
And obviously these are getting closer now to production with having had the decorated samples and the sound fit samples, but where can customers actually buy one of these from?
So these are exclusively available from Rails of Sheffield, and so the next step from our perspective is take the samples along to Rails, say, are you guys happy with this? And agree a production timeline. So I would have thought that we'll be closing the order book, or Rails will be closing their order book within the next few weeks, and then on the back of that, we can start production.
Fantastic. And then obviously we've also got the IHA samples here, which are perfect to go with the Tata steel logo.
Yeah, I mean, that was pure luck that they came at the same time, but the IHA steel carriers behind us, those are ready for production. We're closing the order book for those the day after gets, actually.
Definitely. Yeah, because they're a really well-travelled steelwagon, aren't they?
Yep.
In multiple vehicle formations. They don't just run in block trains. It's so a great collector's item.
Yeah.
Steel trains.
Yeah.
Also on the layout today, we've got one of the latest decoration samples of your Cartic forts as well.
Yeah, so these are probably the last thing that have just arrived. So the Cartic 4s, we've got actually more livery samples than are shown behind us, but we're just assessing the livery decoration. Once we're happy with that, we'll advertise an order deadline in the various magazines and on our website, and then I suspect we'll probably put those into production probably end of October or end of November to arrive probably late Q1 next year.
And you've also got plenty of other new projects coming through as well. I mean, you've got the new batch of the JNAs are coming through for double O gauge.
We've
just
got
announced TT ones as well.
Yeah. As you know, the second run of JNAs in double O are in production at the moment, and we're hoping that they're going to be here sort of final quarter of this year. And then we decided that both Ben and I were really interested in TT as a concept. The sort of the first time that the track gauge and scale actually matched up properly, and we thought it probably needed more than just Hornby to start growing a bigger ecosystem. And we thought, well, if we're going to try something, the JNA seemed an obvious choice. So we put them on sale probably a month ago, and we've been very happy with sales so far. They're available to order from any of our retailers, and we'll see how that goes. And if that's a success, it will lead to more TT.
Yeah. And I've said it will work perfectly with the new Hornby 66.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was very deliberate from our perspective, that it seemed an obvious choice to go with the 66.
And talking of 66s, how's the N-gauge one coming on?
A mind-numbing number of variations. And obviously we've been able to add one with the Drax 50th Gold 66301. So we've been able to sort of slip that into the production run that's ongoing. We're still hopeful that they'll be here sort of November, December time.
Fantastic. So not far away at all, really. So excellent. Well, thank you for joining us today, Mike. It's been great to see the latest production samples of your latest products. For anyone following online, you can read more about Revolution Trains products on keymodelworld.com, or you can go to Revolution Trains website at revolutiontrains.com to find out more about their product lines there. Thank you very much for watching today. We look forward to seeing you next time.